Hey, what's up, everybody? I am not in Star Wars. That is a light shining down below me. I have no idea why. So it just happened. I don't know what to do about it. So anyway, welcome, 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 and thank you for watching On the Town with Tanya. I thank you and appreciate you, all my new subscribers. Please do me a favor. I enjoy like making people laugh. I'm a stand-up comedian as well, and because of that, I love making people laugh because it's just laughter. It seems that that's where we often find our best selves. So if you want to inspire others who may be interested in comedy or who just want to know that women are funny too, hit that share button and subscribe. Okay. And thank you all to all our new subscribers. Yeah. Today's guest is a seasoned comic who started writing jokes when Robin Williams was sent to Mork and Mindy. Okay, so some of y'all young bucks don't know about that, but we're gonna school you. And she wrote jokes that Joan Rivers actually used and told, I believe, on the Tonight Show. She has performed all over the tri-state area. Please give it up for the lovely Helaine Witt. Hey.
Thank you. Thank you. You're lovely, Tanya. You're like a model. You got your lipstick, your makeup, your hair. You're always beautiful.
I'm
Unlike
trying.
some of us who didn't get their lipstick together, their mascara.
It's okay.
Barry Manilow in drag. That's not what I am today because I don't have the makeup on, Barry. I look like him.
That's a good one. I never even thought of that, but thank you. Yeah, you're
My friend
hilarious.
spoke years ago said, "You look
Mhm.
like Barry Manilow in drag." That's when I had my makeup on.
That's actually a good opener. But I mean, hey, I mean, we can
It's
all.
my opener, all right.
We all have our moments. I've got pictures of me when I used to model, and I'm like, if I didn't know any better, I'd say she. So it's all good. It's all good. It's all fun anyway. And here's the thing: you are literally like what they call everybody who's been doing a long time a goat. That you are to me in the comedy world, and especially amongst men or women. I just think you're funny all around. Doesn't matter who I put you against. It's just you're just old school funny. The true definition like of a comedian that can take any situation and just observe it and then boom spit something out that makes your ribs crack up. So I appreciate you, and you deserve to wear your makeup or not. It doesn't matter, okay? Because you've earned that right.
Boy,
Seriously, I'm serious. You've earned that right. So your beginning of your career, because I've known you through Zooms for the pandemic and through Debbie, but I've never like got to sit down and have a cup of tea, coffee, whatever your thing is, right? So that's kind of stuff. So
yeah.
this is great for me. I feel like wow, like I'm so honored to have you come on the show and help us out. So what started your comedy writing, and where were you in comedy when Mork and Mindy came out? You know what I'm saying? Like that's.
That's a great question. First, I
Mm.
want to say thank you for your acknowledgement and calling me a goat. That's such a compliment. I know you don't mean that's a sheep, but I know you didn't. I mean, when you're out just living your life, you don't hear compliments, but then you hear a compliment, you're like, wow, is she talking about me? So I appreciate what you said.
True.
And when I met you, I'm going to go back to something before I answer your question because I want to acknowledge you. My friend George, who passed away at
Sure. Oh, I
89,
love.
87, he used to talk about you. He said, I'm going to be with Tanya. I'm going to be with Tanya. And then Debbie Bassett said, I'm going to be with Tanya. So you had a reputation before,
Oh,
your reputation preceded you.
well,
I
thank you,
want you to
George.
know that.
To George. He was funny. He was funny. Funny man.
Yeah, we're
Wow.
very close friends. So
Uh,
you embodied some of my favorite people within yourself. Plus, your foster agency inspired me. And
mm.
I know we're not talking about that now, but I so admire what you did and what you went through in your life. And then you had a positive spin about it. Like I ended up in what's that town called? Westchester. The way you turn your life around to be positive.
Thank
And I
you.
don't forget, when I hear the term foster care, I think of you.
Oh, thank
But
you.
you wouldn't
Thank you.
know about me
Thank you.
because
I
I
love you.
I deal with children a lot. I was a school teacher for my career, and then I did volunteer work for 20 years with children. So anyway, separate from that, I'll now answer your question because that's why you had me here. 20 minutes is over. Oh, come on, Elaine. Answer.
It's okay.
But what happened was I got divorced and I got there were cutbacks in teaching in New York City. So
Yeah.
between my divorce and having the same friends and distancing myself,
Mhm.
there was a call to go to San Francisco to wear flowers in your hair in those days in the late 70s. And my best friend moved and said, come out here. I started a new life. So there I am in San Francisco, walking down the street
Mhm.
after work. I got myself an office job where I said, no stress, just do the work, and then you'll be free at night in a new life. That's where my head was. Okay. So I'm
Right.
walking down the street, Clement Street, and all of a sudden, this guy in a leisure suit, a leisure suit was a polyester sleazy looking suit with a shrivelly shirt and grease slicked hair. His name
Mhm.
was John Cantu, in front of the Holy City Zoo. And
Mhm.
he said to me, oh, he was a barker. And he said to me,
Oh.
comedy, 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 come to the comedy club. And it was the farthest thing from my mind, but he said, come in. So
Mhm.
he said, go on the stage. And I stood there. I'm telling you, there was no reason for me to even be there, but he said, look around. And by the time I walked out, Tanya, I
Uh-huh.
had a improv class signed up. I signed up for a comedy writing class
Mhm.
and stand up. So he
Wow.
said to me, there's a book at the library where you
Mhm.
could look up any of your favorite comics and write jokes for them because he did that. He did
Really?
that a lot.
Wow.
So I tell the youngsters there used to be books in a library, ladies and gentlemen, books. You remember that?
What's that?
And it was a reference book and it had Joan Rivers' manager's name. And he told this John Cantu said, send him a query letter saying, what does she need jokes for? Now, Joan Rivers was replacing Johnny Carson. So every night she had 5 or 10 minutes of monologue. She needed a current event every word out of her mouth,
Mhm.
all 10 minutes.
Mhm.
So one day I got a pink envelope and
Mhm.
it was a list of the subjects that she needed jokes for. And it was like the happiest day of my life. And I had an office job, as I told you, and I just sat at a Selectric typewriter. I know you're
Awesome.
not as old as me, Tanya,
Yes,
but
I know.
typewriters used to be clunky. But when the
Yes.
Selectric had the ball, you could type fast. It was
Mhm.
electric. So at my lunch hour, I would just start thinking like her because I had her album. Her
Mhm.
album had come out, and my friend Bob Reynolds and I just channeled her. Like after you listen to her album, you start thinking. You're walking down the street, you start thinking like her. And
I
that's
am
what
Joan.
happened. And I just sent jokes like Liz Taylor is so fat. And of course, these days you couldn't get away with being so mean. But I was
Yeah.
just trying to send her jokes. Liz Taylor is so fat, and then I would watch her every night. And
Mhm.
Bob taped it. And
Uh-huh.
because he taped it with his VHS, I
Mhm.
have the jokes she told of mine. I
Oh,
have
wow.
two of them on tape because Bob Reynolds taped it every night so we could study and channel her.
That's amazing. So you're I mean, this is interesting to know because a lot of comics I talk to that's been doing it for 30, 40, 50 years, they don't tell me like, yeah, I took a class, I did this. They just say, I just went and got up on stage and just started writing. So it's kind of interesting because I always think like if you don't know something about something, but you really want to do it and you think it's your calling, then you should know about it. So I took a class with Manhattan Comedy School with Andy and them. I just took it. I took one at Caroline's because I was like, you know what? I don't know. And everyone, people say they're going to tell you, but then they don't really tell you. And they don't want you to know more than them, right? So you're just going to take the long road. So why take the long road when you can just pay $100 for the class and just learn at least the rules and the basics. That's it,
Well,
you know.
Tanya, could I say something about what you just said? And I'm going to answer your question about Robin Williams too.
Mhm.
So when I said I was taking the three classes, you
Mhm.
assume I was paying for them. I got John Cantu to hire me to type his manuals, and
Mhm.
I didn't have to pay for my classes like most people because I typed John Cantu's manual. He had pieces of paper, and at my job, I just typed his manual. And he also borrowed my vacuum cleaner when Robin Williams. Now I'll talk about Robin.
Right.
Robin got sent to Mork and Mindy, but he was
Right.
in an improv group there. I used to
Oh,
watch it. And one of
Ah,
my teachers was from his improv group. So when he left the improv group, some of
mhm.
his members were teachers, and my improv teacher that John Cantu signed me up for was from Robin's troupe. I'm very proud of that. But
Oh,
when
well,
John
that's amazing.
Cantu lived upstairs, and when it was time for Robin Williams to come to the Holy City Zoo from LA,
Mhm.
he borrowed my vacuum cleaner down Clement Street over the, I'm sure it wasn't good for the vacuum to be on concrete pavement, but he would tell me when Robin was coming, and in return, I lent him the vacuum cleaner and I got the classes. Maybe I paid a little bit, but I
Right.
even have videos of me being in that class. And I'll tell you one thing about it, I'm
Cool.
skinny in those, skinny.
We're
I'm
all
100
skinny back
pounds.
then. We're all skinny. A size 3 ago.
I finally answered your question.
Yes, you did. Well, did seeing, like, okay, so from the first time that you saw comedy or knew that that was your gift, when was the first time before that? You know what I'm saying?
I didn't, my friends and I in San Francisco, I had a ball. We were silly.
Mhm.
Never did I ever think of, okay, I'm going to back up. In college, we had to write a report about a group. So
Okay.
I picked Weight Watchers because they had meetings in my parents' neighborhood where I lived.
Okay.
So I go to Weight Watchers, and when it was time to report on, because it was speech class, did I say that?
Mhm. Right.
I made 3 jokes when I was making my Weight Watchers speech. Instead of
Mhm.
just saying Weight Watchers was invented, created by Gene Niditch in 1902. No, I was like I was the leader of the Weight Watchers group, and that was the first time I did anything that I knew of funny, but I didn't
Mhm.
say I'm going to do comedy. I'm telling you, it was the farthest thing from my mind until John Cantu was barking for me to come into that room.
That's so funny. And barking, that's a
And
thing now.
Tanya, famous comics got taken, like I got to see them, and then they got whisked away to Hollywood. Dana Carvey, Rob Schneider, Kevin Neal, and Kevin Meaney. It was just ironic that I was at the Holy City Zoo
Mhm.
right before they all got taken by the scout.
Wow, that's crazy. And now I noticed, if I rewind back to comedy, it was all men, very few women. Like I probably can name almost any woman that was in their 50s and in the 60s, or I probably could guess it, like do a good guess. So that to me was like, I don't know if it's like women like yourself who've been around for years, have not become the Dave Chappelle's because of anything other than you weren't a man. That's my thought. It could be wrong, but that's just my thought. Because I mean, you write just as well as any of the other guys. So to me, what else could it be? I don't know. Do you think there's still any kind of sexism in comedy?
People feel there is.
Mhm.
You see that on Facebook. People talk about it. It's not. I don't see it as a problem. I don't even think ageism is a problem. One person said to me, "You're not right for my audience," but
Mhm.
I think I relate to young people and old people, and I don't walk in a room and go, "Oh my God, they're young." I feel 16 myself. I have a Beatle room. I act 12 years old. I'm immature. So I don't have the
Yes.
ageism or the sexism. I hear stories. In fact, you're right about how many women were there, and they were probably girlfriends also of some of the comics. They were comics,
I was
and
like,
one of them,
girlfriend.
Liz,
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, they're
I'm sorry.
girlfriends, and they were one gal, Liz.
I have a joke,
She
but I
ended
can't
up.
tell.
Oh,
So I
this
can't tell
girl
the joke.
Liz. Oh, sorry. This girl Liz was ended up at Comedy Central at the very beginning. I think the people from the Holy City Zoo created Comedy Central. So this lady Liz was there at the beginning, and you're right, there were just a few famous, not the Joan Rivers and Phyllis Dillers. I mean the people at the Holy City Zoo. You're right.
Right,
It was like an old boys club, but they were welcoming of the women. But I
right.
think they were girlfriends also. I'm not
Yeah,
sure
of
because
course
I
they
was
were
an open
welcome.
micer.
Yeah,
Huh?
I mean, even now they're always welcoming. Uh, you know what I'm saying? And some girls get more stage time than others, and then they end up marrying them or dating the comic. So you know where I'm going with that. I won't. be salacious about it because the truth is you got to do what you got to do when you're a woman in comedy. So fine, I'll take it. Whatever you got to do. I ain't doing it, but you, whatever you got to do, whatever.
I'm
I'm not going to argue.
74, so nobody's asking me.
Are you really? Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm climbing right behind you. Don't worry. I'll be lucky if I make it that long and still be that funny. And that's what I like about you, and when you pegged it so well. I always, when I see you or hear your voice, I'm like, here she comes, a teenager, because you have that spirit and that I don't know, not but what is it? That life that's needed. I mean, because me and Debbie Baza and somebody else, Bill Cannon, when he was doing comedy, some other people, and this is when I first started. Debbie's been doing this for years. So they were like, we're going to the college in New Rochelle. There's this bar. And so all the college kids go there. So my friend was like, oh, we got to go. So we were like, all right, we're going to go. So we went, and it was, we're all like 50 something year olds and some 60s. And so we're like, oh my God, it was like 19, 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds, well, whatever, drinking age, I guess, right? Because it's a bar. Well, there was fresh food, but it was pretty much a bar, food and bar. And so we get in there, and the first thought was like, holy crap. But I've worked with teenagers, and I've worked in jails with young people, and I've worked in rehab with young people. So I'm used to young people. Like I like doing the dozens, let's go, and even before comedy, I love young people. So it's not intimidating to me. But when we got in the room, we were like, oh boy. But you know what? We actually were the ones that killed. The young comics didn't. They came up to us and said, we loved it. It was like something new and we were learning stuff. It was amazing. And I was like, really? Okay. Because I just flipped it to, if I was 19, how would I want to hear this? I was new. I'm still new to compared. I'm really new because I took 4 years off of the pandemic. So I consider myself, it would have been 9 years, but let's take away 4, right? Which is fine. But
that
the
went
point
fast.
It did. I can't believe it. I still look back
Well,
and
I
say,
met you at Debbie's shows and your shows during the pandemic.
Yes. And that was the best part. That was the best thing about the pandemic is how many comics I met. And I was like, I'm not the only one that's over 30 trying to do comedy, and because I don't feel discriminated against technically. Like I know it's there, but I don't allow it because if I really feel that strong about it, I'll do like the brilliant Luce Michelle's doing and create my own shows. I'll just create my own shows. I mean, she does it to a whole new level. Like she's eating off of that. Kim DeShields eating off that, and Nicole Spain eating off of it. So there's brilliant young girls out here, young, I mean, our age, so everybody's young to me, who are out here saying, you know what? Okay, maybe I won't have to close out the Beacon Theater yet. So for now, I'll get the room over here for 300 people, and I'll sell that out. I mean, your ego's
well,
ego.
Wanda Sykes is, what age is she? How old is Wanda Sykes? She sells tickets.
She's actually, I could ask Kevin about her because he opens for her sometimes. But yeah, she's up there. But look how brilliant she is. I mean, people, you can never say a limit on age, in my opinion, today for anything. For whether you want to model, whether you want to write, whether you want to be a comic, you put an age limit, and you're living proof of that. If people knew your personality, they'd be like, yeah, there's no age. I mean, it really is. Like you don't think that until somebody who's typical says something like, oh, I didn't know you were older to me or something like that. And I'm like, excuse you? Who's older? How do you know how old I really grilled people to do that.
Wanda Sykes has those young children of her wife. So she has young children in her house.
And that's great for comedy because then you get to stay hip and you always stay relevant because they're always going to make sure you know what's going on. What are you wearing that for? You look like an old lady. Mama, why is your hair looking like that? Come on, you got to pop those lips, girl. Come on. There's always something going on that I think it helps that I had 2 daughters they're 8 years apart, but that helped me a lot. And working with young people, oh my God. My first comedy set before I went to comedy school, okay, when I tried to tip my hand, I actually did good. I don't know why, maybe because it was kids, but I did a show. It was an audience about 300 to a high school auditorium for like 8-year-olds and 7-year-olds. But I happened, because I worked with kids and toddlers, I knew everything then about them, what games they play, what they like, what game, Barbie, whatever it is was hip. So I happened to hit the mark. Yeah, I hit the mark, but I don't limit myself. And one thing I like about Europe is they don't limit themselves either. I know a lady that's like 72, 72, and homegirl be wearing her little boot heels, jeans, leather jacket, and she, no, but she looks appropriate, age appropriate, and she looks stunning. I mean, stunning. And no one ever mentions her age because that's not an issue, right? So only in America, I think they are like, oh my God, what? Or they might say until they get to know you and think you're cool, then they're like, okay, she's cool. But I don't care. I don't let people put limits on me. And especially in comedy, are you kidding me? No, can't do it. Because guess who's buying stuff? Me and you. We're buying everything. We're buying everything. The homes, the cars, everything, the shows, the concerts. So if you were smart and you were an agent, you'd be looking for us old chicks because we're out here in these streets making it happen, keeping the economy stimulated. So, anyway, so
Attitude.
no, that's how you have to be. So your Joan Rivers experience, what was the most valuable lesson that you learned while writing jokes for her, and like how did it influence your writing style?
Um, that take out all the extra fat and just go for the punch. That's what
Wow.
Joan Rivers does. That's why everyone loves her. She doesn't tell a long, drawn out story. She's got the setup and the punch, and that's what I do. And I go to this thing, Joke Zoom, every day since the pandemic for 4 years. And all we do is take out the extra words of each other's jokes.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
That's what I learned from her. Just set up punch, and that's why everyone loves her. Do I agree with some of the places she goes in her jokes? No.
Mhm,
Being a school teacher and all, I'm going to use the term like sensitive. I don't like
mhm,
kids to call each other fat, and I don't put certain people down like she
mhm,
might. So I don't go there. But what I learned from her
mhm.
is set up punch.
Set up and punch.
Sounds
Oh,
basic, but a lot of
yeah,
people don't do it.
yeah. No, and I'm one of those that take the long way home, as they say. But I
You probably a
believe that's
story.
gonna be, yeah, I was gonna say that's gonna be my thing, and whether I like it or not, because I always it's something about me since I don't know when. Like you could tell me, I need you to shorten this into 2 sentences, and I'll be like, okay, how about five? It's like it's like 4.5. Just all right, 3 1/4. Oh, I mean, I'll just keep going on because I just can't do it because there's this. I know I'm gonna learn, and it will take me like 15 years, and I'm only in year 9. But just I sometimes I feel like there's an important element, and I mean I know the truth is if you can tell it without it, it's not important. So I went to the store. You need went because if I just say I to the store, then that doesn't make sense, right? But if I can cut out something, then even if I say went to the store, that could work, right? I get that part of comedy, but for me, I'm a storyteller. I've always been a storyteller because I write stories. And maybe that's I don't know if that's it, but I'm working on myself. You guys will get me there one day. That group is amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
And I'm appreciative of people like that. That there is some way that you can perfect yourself if you choose to and make the time, right? So thank you for that introduction.
And you see, if you tape yourself on stage, even at a
Yes.
mic or even at a show, no matter when, if you tape
Mhm,
yourself,
mhm,
then you hear where the laugh is. And
mhm,
it's usually set up punch with a powerful punch. And don't rush that laughing. Let them
mhm,
laugh and then set up the next joke. But
mm,
what JokeZoom does is, let's say I say, yesterday I went to the store, or yesterday I went to Walgreens, or
mhm,
I went to the Walgreens on 7th Avenue. They'll take out the yesterday, they'll take out the street number, that
mhm.
kind of thing. So you're still saying I went to Walgreens. You're not taking
Okay.
that out. They take out it just
Mm,
you'll see on stage where the laughs come at setup punch. And that's what I learned from her. And I also want to say she's was very, very nice and
mhm,
generous to people. You heard stories about it, and I've seen it in action.
mhm,
Ridiculously nice to people. She's like a
mhm.
rabbi. When she would be at the stage door, she would just talk to everyone, and they'd tell, Joan, we were in the hurricane and my sister lost her lamp. Oh, I'm sorry. who's next? It was like she didn't have to do this at the stage door.
Right. Yeah, no,
And
that's
they
nice.
would
I've heard.
talk to her like she was the Pope.
Wow. I heard good things about her. I've never heard nothing bad about her. And even so, I always tell people, to each his own meeting, because you never, I mean, just my energy may be different than yours. So of course I'm going to get a different response, right? So I always take people, if I see them on stage and hear them in interviews and I like them, I just like them, if they find out factors later, I'm like, okay, I still like them, whatever works. Um, how as
She could be nasty on stage. She could be cutting on stage. She could make fun in her movie, if I may. I know I'm cutting you off again. In
no,
her
no, it's okay.
movie that she has, um, she said something from the stage, and a man yelled out, "My daughter is deaf and dumb," and that's not funny. And she just ripped into him. There's a comedy show. I have a boyfriend without a leg, and I wheel him around. I know what it's like. I'm trying to make life happy. Whatever she said, but he just yelled it out in a theater.
Oh my God, no. Yeah, there's always
She
someone to take
does
this
say
person.
cutting things. She did make fun of Liz Taylor, where Johnny Carson's sitting here, like accepting that, putting
Mhm.
that down. It's so not today's world. You wouldn't do that.
Right. Well, what do you think? Is there such thing as a limit? Because like I had a comic once at a mic of about, I don't know, it looked like about 20 guys, and I think there was two or three girls. And the guy got up, and I knew this is when Trump got in office the first time, and I knew I was headed for trouble. And so he got up and he was like, looked dead at me, and he said, "Yeah, we should be able to say what we want. I saw Planet, and you see Planet of the Apes." He looked dead at me. He's right. I'm right in the front of the stage. And I'm looking at him like, I will not answer you that because I see a setup coming and I'm going to be the punch and it's not going to happen. And what did you say? Yeah, I'm going to rename it Planet of the, who, me people, my people. And I was like, your set's over, right? So I hopped up on stage like, it's not, I can't. I know I'm supposed to, but I just can't. So that was another situation. But some comics would say, you should have let him finish. And I was like, well, no, what I should have done, I didn't do. He's lucky because you can't just say, like, you can say, I mean, there's so many things to joke about. Why would you blatantly come up to my face in a time of when that guy was got in office and was being whatever he was? Why would you do that? Like, are you trying to come for me? Like that's how I felt. So maybe I was wrong. I mean, you're a veteran. Maybe you can tell me. No, I would have just sat there and just waited and then got him on stage, which I did get him on stage when I got up. I tried to get him back, but he got kicked out at that point because
Wow, he did get kicked out. We
well,
have
it was George
incidences.
Schultz. Was it George Schultz? Was it George? No, it was another one of my Jewish friends. He was older man who immediately like I felt. He felt like I did. He was like, "That is not acceptable," and we were both like, "It ain't going down, bro." And I got my face. It was crazy, but only I would have never said anything else. And I even let some George Floyd joke go, in another mic, and it was not funny at all. There was nothing funny, but all the comic in me said, breathe, breathe. That's how he's saying it. Don't say nothing. That's not your fight. So I was proud of myself because that normally I'd be like, what did he just say? But I was like, that's not an insult on my people. Okay. So I don't care if he's gonna go for an individual or a thing that happened. It's common knowledge. It's happened. That's his take on it, right? So that's why I thought the difference. But what is the difference? How do you distinguish the difference?
I'd like to answer from my experience, Tanya. I'm glad, and I want to say Norman Staley wrote "That's so right." Thank you, Norma, for listening.
Oh yeah.
Nice to know you. I want to say that lately we've been having anti-Semitism on stage, and like you said, it wasn't a joke. It's like "fuck the Jews." Are we allowed to curse here?
Oh,
Like
it's
"fuck the
okay.
Jews."
I'll just
Where's your punchline? I could make a joke about Jews are cheap or something, and I have my own jokes. But for someone to just stand up and say that, and Linda has that in Portland, she heard it in Vegas. I've heard it in New York. I've heard it on
yeah.
Long Island. And I talked to a
I've heard
young
it.
fella.
I've heard it. I've heard it, but the guy I heard it from was from a Jewish guy, and he told us, he said, I'm Jewish. I said, I don't care if your mother was Jesus or Jesus Christ or Lord St. Sarah Mary, you cannot come up on a stage and tell any audience, because a lot of us have Holocaust survivors in our families, so you cannot come up and talk about, what he was talking about. I don't want to say it because I don't want to traumatize anybody, but what he was saying was just horrific. And there was actually a couple of the young dummies in there laughing. I was like, what is so funny about that?
Holocaust jokes, and it's funny, some Holocaust jokes, like Joan Rivers had some. She said she went to the souvenir shop at Auschwitz and she got a clock, a watch, and and what time it was with Heil Hitler, but that's not
That's
fuck the
different.
Jews. I
That's
mean,
different.
where's the joke?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
just getting
That's
people
different.
who hate
Yeah.
Jews to laugh in this lifetime. So I went up to the kid, because you asked me how far do you go. I went up to the kid at the end, and I was with
Mhm.
a comic that happens to wear a yarmulke. We were both there.
Mhm.
And I said to
Mhm.
him, must you make jokes like that in this climate? It's when everything started a few years
Right.
ago. So he
Mhm.
goes, lady, you didn't know that even all these years before I was born, they had
Mhm.
this anti-Semitism, but because of social media, you were blind to it. I said, excuse me, I don't agree with you.
Mm.
I've been here a long, long time, and it wasn't this bad. And I'd appreciate you not tell jokes, because I would never say fuck the. And then I said
No,
another
no.
group of people, and he was horrified, like, I can't believe you said that. And I said,
Right.
that's my point. You're not horrified to say what you said, but it's
Mhm.
horrible for me to say what I said.
Exactly. Oh,
I
this
would
was
never
worse
say
than
it.
that.
And then I said,
Yeah. Yeah, but let's just say he was making fun of ovens and all that whole thing. Yeah, I was like, "What? Wait, you're telling me that you're?" I mean, I literally got him blocked from a lot of stuff for a while. He called and
no,
apologized,
you
but
did?
I was like, "Oh yeah, I wasn't playing. I was not playing. I know way too many Holocaust survivors. No, we're not playing those games. I don't play. I'm one of the people that's right across the board. You know what I'm saying? If you come from my people, I'm coming for you. If you come from somebody else's people that I love and cherish, I'm coming for you too. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like I have my things that I'm like, okay, Mary over there is doing whatever. And I'll call Mary out on it, but I don't just lump it to everybody. And I'm not a fan of that. So well, that's good to hear
When
that you had a moment that you had
when
to
I said
let me correct this.
when I said to him, would you ever say in your
Mhm.
wildest dreams, fuck the, and I said
Right.
that other group, and one of
Mhm.
them was sitting right there, and he was horrified that I even said it. Well, that's my point. You would never
Mhm.
say that, so don't say it. And I asked you
Mhm.
not to. I asked you nicely. In this climate, could you not say that? I have jokes about Jewish people being
Right.
cheap, and my friend Selma said, "Could you not tell that joke? Could
Right.
you not put that stereotype in right now? Could you tell a different joke?"
Right. Right. I get it. And there are some that you have to like, oh, let me just tweak that a little bit. And that's cool. But some comments be like, I don't care what it is. That's what I don't want to say, and I'm gonna say it. I don't care who it offends, and I don't care. The more the merrier. And I got some that poke it to you. They poke it because after that was done with the guy with he's gonna make black people, he's gonna rename Planet of the Black People. Yeah, that was his joke. I was like, where's the humor? Huh. Oh, I know the humor. The ape gets up and beats you. Like I mean, I had humor for all day, but he didn't think that was funny. And it was just, I don't know. It's just when do you just sit there as a comic, uh, and an audience and say this is. I mean, if you're paying, then that's fair game. You already paid. You know what you're paying for. You signed up for Dave Chappelle or Susie, Mary, whoever. I think you paid for them. So whatever they say out of their mouth, you paid. You got to just sit with it. Like I wouldn't if he was in the middle of a show that I paid for. That's my fault if I didn't research him. That's totally my fault. I have no one to blame but myself. So I'm not going to do that in the middle of a show. But when I'm at an open mic where my time is valuable, and he's devaluing my time and people. I was like, no, we're not doing that, bro. We're not doing that. He was not happy with me. And he's done the joke, but you know who he was doing it to that was going over so nicely with? He was doing it to a group of people that were, I call them, some people just laugh because they're like, it's like someone making how about this? It's like someone making a black joke and I'm the only black girl in there and I just Instead of saying after, listen, that was really annoying. I don't know what your audience feels about that, but I feel some type of way. So instead of me standing up and saying, you're really going to take some people off with that. Keep saying if you want to, but you might get knocked out or something. I don't know. I mean, that can go left. And you've seen comedy shows where a guy got hurt. A few people got hurt like a few years ago because they were saying what they wanted to say. So you can say it, but there's consequences sometimes, right? And
Yes.
you have to know as a comic, to me, when to hold up and when to restructure, right? Because that's really what it's about. I've seen comics say things I was like, I would never find, like I said, I would never find a joke on essaying funny ever. But when a comic told about their situation and the way they told it, it was, I mean, I hate to say it was hilarious, but he was smart. He was teasing the people that were the bad people, right? Yeah, and I have
Talking
right. I
about
have some.
himself.
Yes, that's how you do it. There's ways to do it, but not like just blatantly like, yeah, such and such
I
group of
heard a
people.
guy
No,
tell you mentioned about the Planet of the Apes joke. I heard a
yeah,
guy say something equally as horrible. I wonder if it was the same kid. Like I couldn't believe
this is an
that what
Italian
came out
kid.
of his
I forgot
mouth.
his name. Yeah, I forgot it was an Italian kid. He's older actually. He's about 40 ish.
Mm,
Well, he might be 40
I
now,
get it.
maybe 39, something like that. Maybe 30s. I don't know. I can't tell. He looked old for his age because he had a beard. So I don't know. But I used to have his name, but he named himself after my dog to tease me. So he named himself Duke.
Wow,
Yeah, he was like
that's
literally
great.
trying to torment me. I was like, "You're lucky my brother's not alive, bro. You're just lucky. You lucked out. You better be thanking God for taking him early, because that's something that he would have been like, oh no, So he lucked
Wow.
out. Yeah, and he's still around. But
When
and then the guy who put him up said, "Oh yeah, I was like, you didn't warn me. You know how I am about that stuff, and you didn't warn me. It's bad enough I'm the only girl. Well, not there was another girl that night, I think too. But the only African American there, really, you know what I'm saying? That I don't care about because I love all the guys, so I don't even care. I don't care about that. But I mean, that's a thing, right? But then a guy's coming who wants to talk about race, and you think you tell him to go up and just go ahead and try his thing out? Really? That's smart. So I stopped being friends with that person because I was like, that's the kind of things you do. Nah, I'm not messing with you because you're showing me who you are. I believe you. He's a race person and he likes to pick, and he said, oh, he's just being like, he named a few people, Andrew Berg and some other people. He's like I said, well, he's not there yet. That guy's been doing it 15 years. I've heard him. And he's so clever. One of the guys, he's so clever that even as a black person, he said jokes that I had to stop saying 20 minutes later. Wait a minute. Wait, hold up. What did he say? After the show's over and it's booked and gone, that's how clever he is. There's a difference. You can't be a new comic coming out. I don't think. But anyway, so I digress. It's okay. I'm glad I asked each of my comics that, and for someone like you who's been in this a while, it's nice to hear that. Yeah, there's those moments, but this is how you approach it. Just wait till after or whatever. So I appreciate you for that. For
Well, I
answering
passed him a note. I passed
that.
that boy a note as a young boy. I passed him a note and I said, could you not say that? And he laughed about my note and he showed his friend like, ha ha ha. That happened
Mm,
first. I passed him a napkin. I wrote, could you not make jokes like that about Jews
mm,
right now? It was
mm.
when things started. I have two other things to say on the subject. May I?
Yes, of course.
Okay. First of all, I wanted to answer Daryl Nelson. Thanks for being here.
Yes,
Did I
yes.
know Gilda Radner? No, I did not. Um, I was very much a fan of Saturday Night Live when it first came out. I watched it every week. I bought the books about it, but I did not know Gilda Radner. And of course, I'm a huge, ridiculous fan of hers. And they
Me
have a
too. That
movie
was my idol.
about
Yeah.
her I saw.
Oh, they did?
I went, yeah, a few years ago. It was called like Oh Gilda or Dear Gilda, something like that. It was
Okay.
a documentary.
Oh,
Maybe
I
you could
gotta see.
watch it.
Yeah, I
Could
have
I
to. Of
respond about the race question in two other
course,
ways?
of course, of
Okay,
course.
so um, I have a story where it involves a group of people, and I'm not exactly making fun of them, but I'm I'm not making fun of them, but someone in the audience, you could tell she kind of groaned. And I usually I don't have people, I'm not like Joan Rivers where I'm controversial or anything. So it bothered
Right.
me that that the joke bothered this lady. And two of my
Mhm,
comedy coaches said, when that happens, come at them harder. Now, there's different theories on that. Would
mhm,
someone come at you harder that day with that kid? No.
mhm,
I thought of changing the whole joke to be a different group, like be a different, like be an Israeli Day parade instead of a gay pride parade. But
mhm.
I don't want the joke to sound offensive. It is stereotypical, but so are a lot of jokes. So I wanted to
Oh,
say that two comic teachers, their theories come harder, like what Bill Burr did in Philadelphia. He just came
mhm.
at
Oh,
them so hard as they booed him that he turned them around. I'm not made up of, I don't want to have to do that. I don't think
yeah.
I'm cut out to do
He
that, nor do I want to. But he did that, and he used
he lives on
disgusting
that,
language.
but he lives on that. I think I saw that. I think I saw that. What I won't say what it was about, but he will. But that's the one I'm
New
thinking
people
about.
in Philadelphia, and they booed him, and he managed to turn it around, which is amazing. So I want to say that, and I want to tell you about the story about me. I think those
Mhm.
are the two things I wanted to add to your question. I'm done now.
Thank you. No, that's okay. And remember, you're my guest. You can say whatever you want. We got you got another 10 minutes left, so it's fine. Uh, so what other challenges have you faced as a female comedian, like especially like during the earlier stages of your career, and like how did you overcome them?
Okay. Um, I used to have stage fright, and I took some classes to knock the fear out of me, and I don't get scared now. That was a fear. I don't
Mhm,
like when I have a few things that bug me. One is when someone doesn't put me on their show, but
mhm.
they put all my friends on their show. So then I
Okay.
feel, wow, they don't want
Right.
me on their show. So that's
Right.
like a challenge. And I get this
Mhm.
jealousy. Like some people have loneliness. I don't have that. I get
Okay.
jealous. I see you on a flyer. I see Debbie on a flyer. Why didn't they put me in the show? And I go, stop being jealous. But that's one of my, it doesn't stop me like I can't pay my rent, but it's a
Right.
feeling I get. And I say, why are you jealous? You are very lucky. You play in a lot of places. You
Right.
can't be on every show.
Right. Right.
So
And
that's
so
one of
and
my
also
challenges.
yeah, go ahead. Sorry. I was
I'll
gonna
tell
say
you
if you had
another
any
challenge.
time, it's because
Go
I
ahead.
figured you were busy. That's what if any shows I've had, it's only because I was like, she's way too busy. And then I actually asked someone and they said, ask her, she might do it. And I said, okay, next time. So
Yeah,
that's
real
for
busy
me.
during the pandemic, sitting on my ass for 4 years. And the other thing, I crack up, but I stopped wearing shoes because, like, my body hurts. Like Debbie, we have our aches and pains. So I wear
Mhm.
these glitter sneakers, which are fine. But I stopped wearing all the dresses in my closet during the pandemic. So
Right.
that's. It sounds funny, but some people wear a nice dress, and I don't. I
Okay.
wear what I
Yeah.
decided to wear was funny pants. Like
Right.
I have stretch pants out of llamas. I have
Right.
turkeys. I have hamburgers on my
Right.
pants. So I
Right.
changed my wardrobe to wear the glitter sneakers and a funny pair of pants. So it's a
Right.
challenge to think to
Right.
put on a dress that's in my closet after
Right.
4 years and
Right.
a pair of real shoes that are in my closet. And that sounds funny, but that's a challenge.
No, trust me, I'm getting there where it's a challenge for me. I don't like wearing heels anymore. So now I'm like, okay, what's that going to look like? So I'm a sneaker girl on stage too, because the clacking, I heard the clacking one time, but when I played the tape back, I was like, who's that? So what horse came on stage? It's like you and your platform boots. That's who it was. We're like,
You're
so all you hear
funny.
is nope, nope, but dope. It's like, I'm gonna do sneakers. I think sneakers work. So I get that.
That's
There's
funny.
sometimes some people like to glam up because they think, well, it makes you feel better. I only like to glam up because I'm an old school head. When I saw Lucille Ball, Carol Burnett, what's her name, Joan Rivers, they always dressed. I mean, they dress, and I only like that part because I was like, isn't it nice to be able to be so goddamn gorgeous and funny? Like, So it was like
Yeah,
you wouldn't
Lucy was
expect
beautiful.
yeah, you wouldn't expect Lucille Ball to be breaking out all the stuff that she broke out with. You would never expect that from her. That beauty, that just her face, everything about the way she dressed, the clothes she wore, just everything. There's so many people. Um, who else was the other one? My favorite, of course, and now people keep giving me slack on it. My favorite was, I hate to say it, Jerry Lewis. Jerry Lewis is my favorite of all time because I'm a slapstick comic. I always think you should use your whole body. That's just me. And that's because I was grew up on watching him. You know what I'm saying? So he wore a suit all the time. Dick Gregory wore a suit all the time. Like that's what I'm used to seeing. Even Red Fox, if I'm not mistaken, I've never seen him outside of a suit on stage. I don't think. I don't think so. Yeah, back then everybody wore suits. That was the thing.
I
So
just
I
saw
don't know.
a Jerry Lewis telethon excerpt where Frank Sinatra says, "I'm bringing someone out to see you," and it was Dean Martin, and they had broken up,
Oh, the Rat
and
Pack.
they kissed, but it was just Dean Martin meeting up with Jerry Lewis for the first time after their split, and they kissed each
Oh,
other on the cheek and they hugged.
I probably saw that because I was obsessed with them. Like it's Sammy Davis Jr. when they and then Blue Eyes, the way they put him in the clique, especially during all that racism time. You can't go in the front door, got to go in the back door. And they were like, well, he can't go in the front, we ain't going in the front. So they kind of set a little precedent for things that we don't even really know about. Like we have until Tammy tells that story, you really don't realize, oh wow, I didn't even realize that they were like willing to be like, yeah, all right, well, we won't perform. That's a big deal for that time. So I always like them for that. No matter what else you tell me about them, I'll be like, I'm gonna remember that. So anyway, I love the fact they all dressed up. So audience, how do you approach writing material for like different audiences? Like, has your experience across different venues shape, your comedy perspective? From
Um,
being, go ahead.
okay, I'm going to answer your question. I tell jokes about teaching in a tough school. That's my basic comedy. I have other things, but that's my basic. It was always about teaching in a tough school. And then
Mhm,
I had a show at Broadway where I brought people, and it was like probably a contest or an industry show. Anyway, I had to bring people, a lot of people, like 13
mhm,
people. And who I
mhm,
brought were the custodians from my school and the
mhm,
teachers from my school and the aides from my school. Well, all of a sudden, it occurred to me that they might not find this funny, that I'm making fun of the kids from their neighborhood. It could be their own children, and it was
right.
our school. Like when it comes to our school, that's one thing, but to see Miss Witt on stage talking about our neighborhood and our school, they might not find Miss Witt funny right now.
Yeah, the other people
So
like
that
most.
was a challenge that day. I survived it. It was fine. But like when I go eat lunch with them and we tell stories about some of the, like my principal accused my janitor of stealing a VCR and something like that, like a TV. And he goes, Miss, well, I won't say a name. Not for nothing, but he didn't say that. He said, I have 4 TVs in my house. I got kids. We got 4 TVs. I don't need PS140's TV. And I think that's funny that she said, Gary, did you take the TV home from from the auditorium?
Right,
I
right.
got more TVs than you'll ever have. I get a good salary being that's funny what I just said. I should use that in
It
my act.
is.
But
Right
as
back.
far as audiences, I feel like I relate best to like women my age, like when I do wrinkle jokes and
Mhm,
jokes about losing my hair, but I know where it's going. Like I have
mhm,
a routine about getting older, and I find that goes well with women
mhm.
my age, but I could
Okay.
do young, if there are youngsters in the audience, I
You do
might,
anybody.
like I talk about LSD and I'll say that was a drug in the 60s. Like they know that, but I make believe they don't know it. Or I say a book, that's something we used
Mhm.
to have in the library. Like I do jokes like that to break it down for the youngsters. But do I know
Right.
the zombie apocalypse and the music of today? No, I don't pretend to know it.
Right, right. No, it depends on the audience. I mean, again, it's a blessing that you were a teacher right away because you understand whatever age group you were teaching to, you understand them. So that's all that really takes.
Second grade.
I- Yeah. Second grade.
But as far as the
Oh,
youngsters,
oh wow.
what?
Babies. Babies, not
Second
babies.
grade. Yeah,
Second
but
grade.
it sounds like they're babies and they're lovable, but try breaking up fights every day and trying to teach. My
I know.
friend, the decorator, came to school one day to help me organize because I'm a little,
Mhm,
uh, yeah, I can't, I save things. And she said, it's a wonder anything gets done in this room ever,
mhm,
every day. That's
mhm.
how she felt about my day. It's a
Wow.
wonder they learn anything at all in a day. That's how
Wow.
chaotic it was.
Right. Well, I tell
So
you,
when
teaching
people
is a
say, "Oh, babies," they're not like little angels in my classroom. It just takes one criminal, one fight.
trust me, I used to teach all age groups and do daycare. So I know from babies all the way up to the 20s. I know them all. Yeah, I've worked them.
Oh,
So God is good. It was a best blessing because it helped me in comedy. It helped me in so many modalities and different things that I did in my life, and it's just a blessing. So it's all good.
it's funny you
Your
said that
writing
because Debbie always says to me, the reason you're good on stage is because you're a teacher. You know,
It's true. It helps. I believe. I mean, it's clear and evident because what do you do all day? You're in front of a class all
and
day, even if they're the worst class. Mhm.
when there's noise in the audience, sometimes it really affects me, and I say, I like the way they're sitting. I like the way they're sitting. Could you not talk? Because some comedians could just keep going. I like silence. And it was like that in the classroom. And it was a mistake I made because the good kids would say, would you keep going? They'd go like this, like, come on. And I'd stop and make sure the other kid was paying attention.
Oh yeah, no, it's I think it's a blessing, no matter how you cut it. If you was in the teaching field, if you was a counselor, if you did anything with young people, it helps you in any job pretty much because you're gonna run into them somewhere, and I think you're better prepared and you're able to wing it better than if you had no clue and never worked with them. So it's all good. So how do you, in your writing process, how do you brainstorm ideas and develop them into a fully formed joke?
That's a good question.
Mhm.
Um, into
You
a
trying to
joke.
steal it.
Um,
Mhm.
well, I'm going to answer you in a few ways. One is I go to Joke Zoom every day and we just help each other. Like today, I went already today
Oh, you
and they
did?
help me. And I ask opinions and sometimes I figure it out myself. And then I
Mhm.
pay coaches to, I take classes and I pay one-on-one coaches because I
Mhm.
am a retired teacher. I say, treat yourself, my apartment's paid for, take a
Oh,
class or hire a coach and she
nice.
punches it up and makes it funnier. And you might say, "Oh, Helaine's on stage, but she didn't write that joke.
Oh,
George Saltz wrote that joke." And you
mhm.
might say that, but okay, say it.
Okay. So I was going to ask you that, do you think comics should have people writing for them? I mean, I know I hear all the big time people do because after a while you run out of whatever chutzpah, whatever you want to call it, right? So apparently you agree with that they should. It's okay. It's no
You know
problem.
what? I never run out of ideas or premises. I think of them like a person with a ADD probably. I think of things all day long. But to
Mhm.
make a joke better, my coach punched up my jokes. George punched it up, or my new coach punches it up. And do I think it's right? It would be great if I could think of them myself. But
Right.
when you're on stage and you get a bigger laugh because you paid someone to help you,
Right.
well,
Okay. Hey, you gotta do. I said by any means necessary for most comics. That's the thing. When I came into it, I was always like, oh my god, people are write for people. Is that a thing? And then people are like, yeah, and I
yeah.
was like, I didn't. I had no clue. So it kind of tainted it for me to think that someone
Yeah.
I admired and loved all my life. People, just certain people. Like if someone says Dave Chappelle has a writer, I was like, what? He has a what? So I'd be really upset. But it happens, and now I got to just accept it. That okay, he still delivers. It still looks like it's something on fine, whatever.
And
You know.
he probably wrote most of it, but you're bringing up a great point. Do I respect Helaine Witt because Vanessa Hollingshead punched up that joke? Oh, well.
Right, exactly. Okay, I got you. And plus, well, when you're getting paid, hey, I'm gonna sit and give you punch all day long. You can drink all the punches here. I get it. So it's not a personal thing. It's just we're making supposed to be making money. So if that's the case, then why would have I pick and choose? Uh,
That's funny. I might not make money, but I paid George to sit with me all day and just help me with a whole bunch of stuff. And I gave him a
oh,
bunch of money at one time, so I didn't have to go up to Audsley 15 times.
right. So you can get it done. That's brilliant. I miss George. Wow. He was clever at writing, just very clever, man. I remember when I first heard him, I was like, what? How old are you? What? Because it's like, it would make sense because to me, if you've had comedy that long, right? Even if he wasn't on stage, I would expect a mastermind because now you've seen another turn of events that I haven't seen yet. So to me, like
True.
I'm okay. Yeah. So anyway, what was I gonna say? Staying relevant. Oh, well, I was gonna ask, when do you scrap a joke?
Oh, great question. You know, I've been bringing this one thing to Joke Zoom for them to listen to for a long time, or I go to my coach, and I hate to say goodbye to it, but if it's not working in the open mic, it's not working on Zoom, which I go to every day. If it's not working at Gladys's or on stage, I've been working on my basic teacher stuff and getting old stuff because it's tried and true and it's a new audience. And then I extend that. Like, why don't you just build on your getting older stuff and your teacher stuff if that's what's working? Because some of the other stuff never is working,
Okay.
is never
Okay.
working.
Got
Bad
it.
English
So it's
is never
and
working.
that's why it's important to hit the mics and hit everywhere because that after 7 or 8 times, if you're not getting laughs, clearly time to let go, let go. So we only got a few more
Tanya,
minutes,
don't
but
you feel sometimes don't you feel it's in your own head? Like if you're
yes,
thinking this won't work, you're not giving
yeah,
it the energy it needs,
yes, yeah, absolutely,
punch it
absolutely.
needs, or the extra act out it needs at the end. Act out help a lot.
It does.
Wanda
I think
Sykes acts it out. She says it
I
and
love
acts
that.
it out. Joan Rivers says it and acts it out.
Yeah, it helps a lot. Like I'd say
Did you see
60%.
Wanda? I'm interrupting again.
Go ahead. Which one? The
Did you
last
ever
one that
see
she did?
Wanda Sykes do the waxing when she talks about getting waxed? And she
Yes.
walks across the whole stage with that uh, wax paper, whatever they use. She walks across the entire stage with the lady taking it off.
Yeah,
Oh my
she said.
God.
It's hilarious. She's absolutely hilarious. I'm so glad someone turned me on to her. I don't really. I know it's bad to say it's a comic. But I don't really listen to too many comics. I like old school comics, and that's all I like to listen to, which is bad.
Right.
But I know this bad as a writer, and it's probably why it's taking me forever. But I don't know. I just feel like I don't want anything to um, get in my mind. How about that? So I like to be my
That's
authentic self.
interesting.
And I feel like if I'm all listening to this one and he's hot, so I'm gonna try. I've seen comics try to get this because they hear Dave Chappelle, they want to be like Jay. Like if you happen to be that kind of comic, okay, cool. But if that's not your thing, you're more of a Red Fox or you're more of a what's his name? What's his name? I can't remember the guy's name. Oh my gosh. There's so many. Not Robin Williams. Then you can't be sounding like Richard Pryor, right? So it's you want. I think you can only find your voice if you're only just going up and doing you until eventually you either suck so much that eventually like, okay, this is not working for me. I've got to either get out or just start practicing more. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that is. But I mean, I'm never gonna give up. I don't care. It takes me 20 years. I'm down. I only got into stand up because I wanted my own late night TV show. That's it. I didn't care about nothing else. I love writing jokes. I love being around comics. I love that part. It's like a second family. But for me, it's just give me the late night show, and I still would go out. I still would go on stage. I still would practice because it teaches you about people, and you learn about audiences, and you need to know that as a host. So it's relevant. Whatever. So okay, before I only got 1 minute left. What's my last question for you? Oh man. Okay. I was gonna ask two questions. How do you make material stay relevant, especially with things changing cultural and social issues right now? Um yeah, I'll ask that one last. I hate to ask. Uh I have two more questions, but I'm gonna see if we can squeeze them in. Go ahead.
Are you allowed to stay on extra?
Of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course. Of course. Yeah. I will do an extra 2 minutes. Go ahead. Well, let's go for it. Go for it. Because I mean, come on. I'm got gold in front of me. I'm not going to go and, you know, I'm taking
Sweet.
advantage of it.
Okay, I'll answer your question. How I keep it relevant. Okay, so I have a joke I wrote back in the day in
Mhm,
1979, and I say Rin it. Oh, it's this enlightened dog, and
mhm.
he channels Rin Tin Tin. Well, Rin Tin Tin is from the 50s, so then I say he channels Lassie, but Lassie's gone. Then I say he channels Scooby Doo. He channels Clifford. He channels Snoopy. So
Mhm,
instead of using the newest dog, I want to
mhm,
try every dog and make that the joke that I'm using all the decades of dogs. So that's how I
mhm,
make it relevant. I could just say Snoopy, but not
mhm,
me. I'm going to say every dog. If it gets a laugh, I'll do it. If it doesn't get a laugh, like you said, 8 times, maybe I'll just
mhm,
say Snoopy. So that's how I make it relevant. One of my jokes
mhm.
was the dog goes to poop scoop rallies. Well, guess what? Poop scoop the laws are now part of life. So that joke is irrelevant. Poop scoop
Right,
rallies. There are no rallies. We beat the law. Now you got to pick up from your dog. But that's
right.
funny too that I wrote the joke before they had him. So I make
Mhm,
that a joke.
mhm. Wow. Yeah, you. Oh well, you're just good. I mean, you're observant too, as it just as a human being. Even if you weren't a comic, something tells me you walk in the room and you're like, "Ooh, doo, doo, doo. Okay, I got this." Right? Some people are not observant, so that's why it takes us longer, whatever. But you're observant anyway, so that just helps. I think that helps write a better joke if you're able to
And I think
shorten it.
I'm cynical and sarcastic. I see I'm sarcastic about everything. Did you ever see
Hmm.
the headline in the in the New York like Daily News or the Post? It's so sarcastic.
Hmm. the oh,
When
the
when
post
Eric
is
Adams got indicted, they wrote Ottoman Empire, something about the Ottoman Empire because of Turkey. No, the Ottoman, like you're sitting on an Ottoman or the Ottoman, whatever the joke was. They have when Paul McCartney was with this other woman, it said tryst and shout, Tryst. I love like the headlines are so funny.
Oh wow, yeah, I have to look at them because it's been a while since I've seen the post. And yeah, I have to look at that because post has
When
been.
you're
I
in
haven't read.
London.
Well, right now, but yeah, but I still haven't read. I haven't been read the front page of the paper just because I just feel like media has just gone left somewhere, and
No,
I
I
can't.
don't like to buy it, Tanya. I just see them in the grocery store and I like
Yeah,
to look at
yeah,
the
it's
headline
important.
because they're so sarcastic. So that's the answer. I am observant and I am sarcastic about people. What I want to delve into next is people's character flaws, like someone who's a know-it-all, someone who's jealous, like myself, like someone who has to one up you,
Mhm,
someone who
right.
has to put you down.
Okay. Yeah. You there? Okay. I thought I lost it for a minute. It's raining here. Um. Um. Well, legacies. I wanted to ask about female comedians. Who are some of the comedians that you admire, the female comedians who have influenced you in your career? What do you think their impact has had on the industry?
Okay, like my coach is Vanessa Hollingshead. She's not world renowned, but
Mhm.
she could do like 5 languages in one set or in one special, like 5 languages. So
Wow.
she could sound like a German. She could do Shakespeare. She could sound English. She does British. She does the thing about what do you call that? A guy who takes your pocketbook. And but in
Oh,
Britain, it's like sorry, like she says, you stole my backpack, and he goes, sorry. I forget what he says, but anyway, she does British, she does
mhm,
German, she could
mhm.
do Spanish. So I admire someone who could do act outs,
Right.
like Robin Williams acting it
Love
out.
that.
It
Oh, I
always
love
makes you. It could always make your comedy funny. Act outs
love.
and languages and crowd work. I
Yes.
admire that. So you asked me what people, um, well, a few that I mentioned already.
Mhm.
I like Wendy Liebman. She's very nice, like on Zoom. Every day she gives you a topic and she sees your answers and then she puts like.
Mhm.
It's very nice, very encouraging.
Really?
I love Tammy Pescatelli. She's very popular right now. And Zarna Garg.
I don't know
Zarna
her.
Garg was just in the she's Indian. She has a dot. She said it's a sticker.
Yeah.
She said,
Maybe
people ask
she's
what
from
this is.
Queens?
It's a sticker.
She says she's
Zarna,
sick.
Zarn.
She's not from Queens, right?
No, she's from India, but she lives in Manhattan.
No, then that's not the girl.
Who
Okay.
you think it's own? Yeah, I like a few comics. I like
That's nice.
Sandy Ellers.
Others. Don't know her. I'm trying to think. I don't know her. But I'm the last person to ask about. I mean, if he's not old school, I'll be like, I don't know who that is. If
Are
I
you
see
gonna
them,
stay living in are you gonna stay living in London forever?
no, no. I'm just visiting. I'm just visiting. Just visiting. Just visiting my grand. just visiting my grand. But so a last question for you. I know I've kept you quite long. What advice
Oh,
would you give
please.
aspiring? I know aspiring comedians, young, especially like young female comedians starting out in the industry, based on your own experiences.
I'd say go to the mics and
Mhm,
network with people, talk to the people,
mhm,
ask them to be on their shows, use
mhm,
social media, bring your friends to to the mics, to the shows, get on shows,
mhm.
and then you have your own shows. Put on a show at the
Yes,
church or in the library or at your friend's basement.
yes,
Make your
local
own
restaurant.
shows. And you know
Yeah,
what? Care about the audience and care about the other comics and the booker. Don't just care about yourself.
yeah, yeah. Very important. Yeah, very important. But I love that we can do that now. But if there was a time you couldn't do that, so now if the comedy places don't want us, or not because they don't want us, but they have their set, they have their set people that they like to have. That's okay because you can really eat out here if you know how to. You have no shame in going to the restaurants and the bars and saying, "Hey, I can get you. What's your least busiest night? Can I get that night to do comedy? Just give me 90 minutes. That's all I need, right? That's a good way. I think so. Because I mean, people generally, everybody wants business on their least busiest night, right? So if I can get 15 comics in there and they're buying soda, at least soda, let's say, right? That's money, So
Yeah, on
guys,
the quietest night. We
yeah.
we the two shows we went on in England, in London, I mean,
Mhm.
were
Oh, right. That's right. You did.
one
Did you go where? Where was it?
one was a basement show
Uh-huh.
in near where Diamond I forget the name of the neighborhood. It was a basement of a bar that was like there was no wall on the bar, like it was eroded, like the basement was in bad shape. And the
Oh,
MC says,
oh,
I don't know if the bathroom's going to close when you go in, but we have a bathroom. It was like that.
okay.
But
Wow.
they let her have a show there. And then I performed at another bar in a
Mhm.
private room at a pub. And that
Wow.
they made comedy shows in those two places.
Really? And that's so funny. I've
And
been
then we were
looking
at
for
the
my.
London, Tanya, I recommend you go to the London Comedy Store. They have a gong
Oh,
show we went on.
okay. The London Comedy Show. I'm going to ask you actually about that because I've been looking for somewhere just to go.
In
So and then,
Leicester Square. So you're playing in
oh,
Leicester
that's
Square at the
where.
Comedy Store with all the famous comics on the wall, and there you are on stage
Oh, Leicester
at the
Square.
Gong Show,
Oh, wow.
Leicester
Okay,
Square.
Leicester Square. I will
And
check.
they
Sure.
were very nice about it. And you get gonged very soon. Linda lasted 3/4 of the way. You get
Really?
5 minutes, you got 3.7 minutes before she
Wow.
got gonged.
Wow. Wow.
That's
So
pretty
that sounds
good.
like
They
it was
gong
fun.
you for no reason. They
Yeah,
gong
really.
you for no reason. You could be American and get gonged for that.
Oh, well, I don't know if I like that. I don't really like going somewhere I know you're going to torture me.
No, but they you don't know what they're gonna gong you for. But the point is, if you could stay the 5 minutes, then you're in the running to win.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll check that. And
And
plus,
what
it
I
gives you
like
that.
about it is you're at the a famous comedy club in Leicester
Right.
Square, the Comedy
Right.
Store.
Right. And you can build up your grit that way too. You can build up yourself. If you're like, I got gone in 20 seconds, what's up with that? Like, so next week you'll say, oh, I got this. Let me try that. So it is fun. And my ego, my comedy ego will say, I'm coming back. So I don't care how many times you got me. I'm coming back till I get down to the 5 minutes. Yeah, so I get it. But thank you so much. Guys, you've been listening to On the Town with Tanya, and I'm with the lovely, I call her the goat, Helaine, not Ba, no Ba, Helaine Witt. And please check out her website, www.helainewittcomedy.com. Go show her some love. Check out her YouTubes and check out her Instagrams. You had a three, I think, right? Her Instagram, Helaine
Facebook.
Witt.
I don't mean to have three. I just am illiterate. I should
You're
just
like,
have one.
you're like
But I
me.
do
It's
have
like,
a
let me
Facebook.
set that up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get it.
Facebook has my shows.
Okay, so go to her Facebook, and thank you, and please check her out. Show us some love, and thank you for my new subscribers. I don't know where you came from, but I love you. Thank you, and my new followers. I don't know why. Facebook has put me under major stress and gave me serious
You know why? Because I
anxiety.
put it on TikTok. I put it on TikTok and I friend everyone that moves on TikTok. I don't know where they come from. I just press join, 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 join. So you got yourself 400 new TikTokers that I don't know where I got them from.
That's great.
I do. I
love
just press, I just go like this and I
it.
have them join me and I put your show on.
That's the fun. That's the funnest part about social media is like you just guess this stuff. Someone's like, "Oh, you're so good at that." I was like, "You know how long it took me to learn this stuff? Are you kidding?" And I'm still learning. I have waited like right now. I'm like, I'd like to have a better camera. I'd like to have a better. But you just do what you can and just be happy with whatever it is. My point of the whole show on the Town with Tanya, you guys know. Do me a favor, share the show because there's somebody out there that wants to be in comedy that thinks they can't do it, that may be hilarious. So we're missing out on more laughter. So share this just for that reason. All right. Thank you so much. And Helaine, hang out with me for a minute. I want to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I see you out there, Norma, Daryl, Maria. Hey, I see you. I saw oh my God, one of my old comedy friends. Where'd you go? My sis. Hey, sis. Hey, Tony. I saw somebody out there. Lisa, there you go. Hey, Lisa. I hope you're still doing comedy too. But thank you guys for taking the time to watch. Share, and share again because but on the Town with Tanya, we share because we care. Right? Because we don't care about ratings, we care about people. All right. Thank you guys. Stay with me. Hang with me 1 second as we say goodbye. Don't go anywhere, Helena. Let's see, Elaine. I'm saying Helena. Hello, who's that? Somebody just gave me a comment, so of course I have to go back. Oh, thank you, Norma. Wait, where did we go? Yes, thank you guys. Oh, that's nice. Thank you, Charlotte. I appreciate you out here
I
looking
hope
in the street.
Charlotte's not having any storms. I hope you're
I
okay
know.
in Charlotte.
I'm yes, I think they're okay. My brother said they're okay. So I think they got a lot of rain. So some people are, some people aren't. So thank God Daryl's up here. So we see one, Charlotte. Thank you. And again, George Schultz, this show is dedicated to you. I hope you're resting happily up there in heaven, telling jokes to all the angels. All right, guys, hang out with me. Bye.